Static buzz in the midnight air. Traffic and spooker in the gamer's lair. Loot drops falling like a neon rain. Pixel worlds driving us insane. Halo rings light up the fight. Sonic speed blurs through the night. Diablo's demons in the dungeon's breath. Path of exile paths leading to death. Live farming gossip in the glow. Digital whispers in the flow. EverQuest dreams keep us alive. Dead by daylight screams collide. Talk of bosses grinding bones. Legends born in gaming zones. Quests that stretch beyond the frame. In this podcast we name the game. Controllers on the heartbeat song. Spookers laugh keeps the vibe strong. Traffic's words cut through the noise. Gaming tales from girls and boys. Loot farming gossip in the glow. Digital whispers in the flow. EverQuest dreams keep us alive. Dead by daylight screams collide. Controllers hum the heartbeat song. Spookers laugh keeps the vibe strong. Traffic's words cut through the noise. Gaming tales from girls and boys. The farming gossip in the glow. Digital whispers in the flow. EverQuest dreams keep us alive. Dead by daylight screams collide.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Loot Farming and Gossip XD. You got me, Mr. Spooker, and my co-host, Mr. Travick,
Hello.
here to do another episode of what we love talking about, and that is the world of action RPGs. And this week, we have a new league for Path of Exile 1. And boy, did they drop some news last week that just blew my mind.
Yeah.
Like, this many years later into a game, you would think that such a core mechanic of a game wouldn't be altered or changed to this extent. But I feel like it's a heavy opinion-based argument as to is it good or is it bad, because there's some people that are like saying it's a bad change. So let's dive right into the different changes and things that they're doing for the Path of Exile 1 League, the Allflame League, which is supposedly, we don't know everything, but what we do know from the reveal is it's basically a boat league. It's kind of like PoE 2 Expedition, but in a different sense. It is kind of what I took away from it.
Yeah, it's gonna be something very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Yeah. So the mechanic that I was speaking to is in PoE 1, different to PoE 2. The skills and support skills that you utilize are based upon your gear. And your gear has sockets in which you socket your skill gems and your support gems to those skill gems. And instead of it just being a sidebar like PoE 2, where you just put your skill and then you use a jeweler's orb, whether it's a lesser, greater, or perfect, it just gives you your linked 6 socket skill gem. Well, it's technically 5 socket, right?
Yes. Sir.
But in PoE 1, it's been a much more frictional based progression system for your skill gems, because not only did you have to get sockets on your gear, you also had to get links in order to link your support gems to them. And then the big one, which is one of the reasons that my dad actually doesn't care for PoE 1, is the socket colors. And they just decided, poof.
Yes. Getting rid of them is pretty big.
I'm just like, what? When I saw that, my first reaction was like, Dad, you're gonna like PoE 1 now.
A lot of people had a hard time with the socket colors. It was like the whole linking system was really rough. But I think for people like you and me that grew up with like Final Fantasy VII and like games like that, it was just kind of like second nature.
Yeah, well, I mean, no different than finding like the right socketed amounts for rune words in Diablo 2, right? You know,
that's true too.
You got to find the base, you got to find the right sockets. There was no real way to like alter the sockets. Like PoE 1 at least gave you a way to alter, like you could change the number of sockets, you can add or remove, link or unlink. Diablo 2 was it was either drop or you had your Larzik, which just added the max sockets for that piece of gear.
Well, there was also a rune word recipe too that you can random on a white base.
Yeah. I forgot about that one, which I think was also RNG though, wasn't it?
Yeah. You'd have to find a base, put it in, see what happened. Hopefully, you got the right number of sockets.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I am pretty shocked that they just said, oops, and like kind of threw it out of the game, but not completely. They still gave the original model design a reason, so it is still applicable to have a benefit for utilizing the right color socket for your gear. So I thought that was
you get quality.
I thought that was really cool. So it's like they didn't get rid of it. And for, like you said, for the seasonal players, you know, it was just a minor nuisance for you to make that gear usable for you. But when it came to like the newer players or the players learning or new players that didn't fully understand the different amount of ways that you can go about adjusting that stuff, because there's a ton. There's crafting them, there's socket juggling, there's different currencies that you can use. There's a bunch of different ways that you can essentially get the number of sockets and the color of sockets you want. It ended up being just having enough currency to do so.
Yeah.
But for the new player, it's a big turnoff, because while you're leveling, it's like, okay, well, I found this really good chess piece, we'll say, and it's got 5 sockets on it, but I can't get the colors I need for the skill I want because maybe it's not the base of the skill gems that you're using.
It wasn't even 5 sockets wasn't even like the problem, because it was early as like Act 1. Like you would be playing the game and you'd need like triple green and you just couldn't get it.
Yeah.
Or like triple blue and you only found armor bases, and a lot of players didn't know how to adapt. So it was just like really awkward. Even for like me, like doing a league start, like the difference between like a 2-link and a 3-link in your start is just so massive. And, you know, I don't have to set up a filter anymore to scream at me if colors drop, and you don't have to think, you can just stock it.
Yeah, which is, to me, a huge W for me. But there's a lot of people that I've heard saying that, you know, it kind of removes a unique aspect of the game for them, and that kind of a downer for them. But to each their own. You can't please everybody with any game. You're always going to have your likes and dislikes regardless of your player base and who you're trying to make happy. But I thought that was that was the game changer, funny enough as it is, for me to actually dive into this PoE 1 league. I wasn't gonna dive into it. There's tons of games coming out this month. I haven't been on PoE 2 enough to where I'm like burnt out. I still have a lot that I want to do in PoE 2. Hopefully I get to it before they decide to do a reset. I don't know. We'll find out. And as you know, I've been playing Diablo 4 as well.
Yes. I've seen that. I've definitely seen that.
Yeah, yeah. And I've been having fun. It's a bit repeatish from the expansion, and although with that being said, they are actively listening to the community, and they actually made hot fixes and adapted and made some changes from the fiery feedback that they've gotten. But we'll get into that later. With the socket color changes, which was the biggest like W for me, that made me decide that I'm going to play PoE 1 this league. Do I know what yet? I have no clue. When I log in and create a new character, I'll find out. But that's how I've always been.
Yeah, absolutely. I used to be the same way. I didn't have no clue what I wanted to do. I would just pick something while waiting in queue and then just kind of roll with it. But I've been more decisive over the recent years. Having to do the whole content creation and build guide things seems to really upset people if I change my mind at the last possible second.
Which we still do that.
I mean, it's understandable, right? Like you want to follow along with somebody in case you get stuck. You could see how they got over certain hurdles. So I get it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's definitely stopped me from swapping aggressively on day 1 and day 2. But like this league, I told people, I was like, by Sunday night, Monday morning, I'm not playing my league starter anymore. I am fully off of it and committed to something else.
Right, but that's kind of been the thing with Path of Exile, both 1 and 2 actually. Like,
yep,
you typically have this starter build where it's not necessarily that it doesn't scale the end game right. It's more so like it's just easier to get it built to get farming fast, to then just farm for what you want to play. And sometimes you get stuck in it because you enjoy what your league starter was, but maybe that's just me. I don't know. But we have a returning aspect as well to the PoE 1 league that they decided, not last league, but this league, that they're going to make it core. And that would be the Mercenaries of Trarthus, which I was...
Oh yeah, that was shocking. That was super shocking.
I was very surprised, not only by the fact that they decided to make it go core, but the manner in which they decided to make it core. It's no longer a permanent mercenary like PoE, or not PoE, but Diablo 2, or, you know, like the Diablo 4 mercenaries. They're not just permanent. They're kind of temporary.
I don't like that, but there is a solution, and I don't know how much I like the solution to it either.
I do not, I honestly don't care for the solution, but we got a new Ascendancy.
Yes, I was gonna say we should probably, the solution being a brand new. I see, like that's the other thing too. Like it's an ascendancy class. It's an ascendancy for the Scion, right? Like, and it's supposed to be this like leader of the mercenaries, and you get to hire a mercenary permanently, and you get to alter its gear, and you get to be like this support for the mercenary, or the mercenary gets to be your support. And the concept of it is really cool. I don't know if the concept of it is really cool as an ascendancy, when it could have just been like its own class and developed its own identity over time.
Yeah, I definitely, I could see it both ways, but the whole league mechanic behind the Mercenaries of Trarthus was you would farm out an area, you know, whatever it may be, to farm up your mercenary that you then recruited. You had to fight to recruit them, and then it became your permanent ally for however long you wanted, whenever you wanted to use them. And some people would have different mercenary setups for depending upon what they're doing. So I'm not too sure how well that's going to pan out. I know they did say, did they give a number? I don't recall if they gave us a number. When you decide to recruit it, it was like X amount of maps, right?
It's like, yeah, it's weird. It's like a zone or two. It's very, I don't even know if they're just going to be things you kill. right? And I mean, you could trade them too. So like, if you get like a really good one, you could trade it
Right.
to like a luminary. But even then, I don't know. It's a really weird system.
Right. One thing I did like though is the what was it? It's like a warrant or something where you could like send
That's
them
the trading
off.
system.
Well,
Yeah.
was it the warrant or was it there? Either way, it was something more of you would send them off and then they would come back, but it would be the same mercenary with just new gear for that mercenary type. So I thought that was cool.
Yes. I don't think that's the warrant. So I'm sure somebody's going to correct us. But yeah, you can send them off and they come back with better gear, better like loot and all. But you can only send them off one time.
Right. Yeah.
You can't send them off multiple times.
Right. So it's one of those like you get one shot reroll
Yeah.
or nothing. So I do kind of agree with you, unless you are the new Luminary Scion Ascendancy class, you're more than likely, unless it's a really, really badass mercenary, I don't even know if you can take it to trade it, even as a
non-luminary, yeah, you get the option to like put it for a warrant. I don't remember exactly how they described it was going to work, but you can capture it, or you can put like a bounty out for it, and you sell the bounty for it, and the player puts the bounty into their map device like a scarab.
Oh,
and
okay,
the mercenary will be in the map.
So
like
they still have to defeat it for themselves. Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
So the luminary still has to be strong enough to kill that mercenary. There's also like talk about like we don't know if the gear on the mercenary is going to stay the same, or if you put like the gear and people will like re-roll it. Like if you found some tier 1 unique or tier 0 unique and you didn't think you can kill the mercenary, but you put a warrant out and you sold the mercenary, like we don't know if the gear will stay like warrant to warrant or bounty to bounty, whatever it's called. But the skills of the mercenary and the type of mercenary will stay.
Right.
And there's passive points too now on the Atlas tree to specifically farm certain types of mercenaries.
Right. Yeah. Notice that. And I think with it going core, that's probably a good thing that they're not just permanent, and that they also have passive tree nodes for them as well. I did kind of like that, the fact that now it is core and you can actually have a way to influence what you're finding, how you're finding, and where you're finding them. So go ahead.
I was gonna say, I don't like the temporary thing because you make a good point about D2 and D4. Like they were just a thing that were there, right? And like the whole idea of having to like give it up zone by zone just kind of like feels like it defeats the whole purpose of what the mercenary is, at least for me.
No, I completely agree. I completely agree. Straight out the gate, I don't like the temporariness, but we'll have to see how much it affects what's going on.
Yep.
Because to me, the whole Luminary Scion Ascendancy thing just makes me think of the sorceress Vrashta. Like,
sure.
What's the difference? Like, outside the fact that you kind of get to pick what mercenaries you get to use rather than you get a select few that you choose from in the skills, right? So for me, it makes it more tied to a class and ascendancy rather than an actual core mechanic. Because like you said earlier, it's going to be more of, okay, what does this mercenary have that I can take if I'm not that ascendancy, versus, this is a really good mercenary. Maybe I can, grab this, or maybe I can use this to level, or it kind of removes that whole aspect out of it. So we'll see, I guess, how it actually plays out, because maybe it feels better than what it looks like on paper. But I don't know. I think
a lot of the league is going to be very interesting until we play it, especially even like the league mechanic, right? Like the league mechanic itself being the whole underwater thing, like to me sounds very mid, but I know that if I get the opportunity to play it, it's probably infinitely better in action than it was seeing it in the preview.
Yeah, yeah. Because they always try to hide.
I think a lot. Yeah, I think a lot of the league is going to be like that, where you know we're like uncertain or unsure, and then we get our hands on it, and we're like, oh wait, never mind. This is awesome.
Right. And then you have the people that really just don't care about play or how fun it is. They're all about that div per hour.
Well, that's a whole like another thing, because there's a lot of doomers already.
Oh, of course.
So there's two sides of the coin. There's people that are dooming, and there's people that are like really excited. And there's a lot of this in Torchlight too right now with New League. So we can I could tie all that in. But essentially what's happening is last season we had Mirage, and Mirage was just this like currency fiesta popping off, maps this, maps that, end game this, end game that. And so many people are just like freaking out. They're like, but we lost Mirage, and we're not going to be able to farm this, and we're not going to be able to farm that. We're not going to be able to do this, and this is going to feel empty, and this is going to feel bad. And a lot of it is just this like overall dooming, freaking out sensation versus like, just wait. Like, we have new Legion, we have new Abyss, we have so much new stuff that I really think that it's going to be I think it's going to be really cool and really interesting.
Oh, I completely agree. Speaking of new Abyss and new Legion, I was actually, I'm not gonna lie, when they announced all the things that they're changing, I'm like, man, like we thought PoE 1 was just thrown on the back burner and they were just gonna, give us some subtle changes here and subtle changes there. Now, while I understand that anyone that wants to argue or disagree with me, I will just, until I'm proven wrong, I will completely go by the belief that we are now playing Pong, and we have PoE 1 over here, PoE 2 over here. And until one of those games just go away, I think they will always be bouncing Pong back and forth to bounce ideas off. And I think this particular PoE 1 update kind of proves that, which to me can be a good thing and a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
And let me elaborate on that. Because you're like, well, Spooker, what can be good and bad about that, right? And what can be good is that they can take a core idea or aspect and influence both games. But the bad thing about that is that if they make both 1 and 2 too much the same, then I feel like I'm just logging in to the same game on a different platform, right? And
different coat of paint.
Exactly. And if they do too much of that, it can be very, very bad for both games, I think. But I think a little bit of it, as far as like the core concept or ideas, is okay. And we'll see how this Abyss reworks, because I think they're making it a lot more like PoE 2's Abyss.
It should be exactly like PoE 2's Abyss, yeah.
So we'll see. Although I think there is still some unique identity when it comes to like the item and loot table that comes from Abyss as well. But I'm looking forward to try it out, being able to try it out with different builds, different skills, different setups, and all that stuff. That is kind of one thing that does keep PoE 1 unique in comparison to PoE 2. They definitely still have their own core base game values that are completely different. I remember hearing some parts and pieces of the Legion rework, but I don't recall exactly what the changes were that they were doing to Legion. Do you by chance remember?
The big thing is you won't see all the reward icons in the middle anymore when you're doing the timeless mechanic. They're like somewhere else. And the timeless mechanic is in itself is just cleaned up a little bit. And then the timeless mechanic gives you access to a new crafting option where you can slam a unique into a unique. So you get to craft a unique onto a unique. And then in maps, the Legion mechanic inside of maps, I was going to call it the timeless mechanic inside of maps. The Legion mechanic inside of maps, you no longer have to fully clear out the mechanic to have it break out of stasis. You just have to kill the ones that have reward tiles now. So it'll be a lot
okay.
easier inside of maps. And then they removed a lot of the like weird bloat, like incubators are gone.
Yeah, I heard that's right. I do. It's funny how they've
And
just thrown stuff out the window.
yeah, and then even like for Legion, like you'll no longer get like abyss jewels. Like they just won't fall in Legion anymore. Like they're abyss exclusive.
That is one of the best changes when it comes to loot tables that,
Yeah.
in my opinion, any action RPG can ever do.
Yep. Being able to target farm something in a certain thing, yeah. Absolutely.
Correct. But not only just target farming, because Diablo 4 gives you the ability to target farm, but the ability that, or not the ability, but the strategy that gives you a reason to go do this mechanic. For example, if I want Abyss Jewels, I'm going to have to go do Abyss. I'm not going to find them in other content. It's going to be in Abyss. Whereas, like, for example, in Diablo 4, if I want this unique, I can find it anywhere in the game. Like, it will just drop. It can go drop anywhere. But I have a higher chance of it dropping if I go to said boss or said, whatever the case may be. I'm okay with both aspects, but I do prefer loot being specific, dropped in specific places. So I do really like the change of them only dropping their relative mechanic drops in that mechanic. Because then to me, what it was doing is, why would I go do, what was it? What was it? PoE 2 Temple, I think it was PoE 2 Temple. It was like, why would I go do this mechanic when I can drop everything in the temple? There's no point. I just play the temple. Like, there's no point to go do anything else, especially when it was as lucrative as it was.
I think it's also opening up a lot of doors and avenues. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh my god, every mechanic gets so much worse," but I think it makes every mechanic so much better, especially like things like blight. Like, I never wanted to see an abyss chest while I was blighting. I never wanted to see a talisman chest while I was blighting. I never wanted to see a legion chest while I was blighting. I just wanted like more currency and more blight rewards. So I think a lot of mechanics that you farm where you didn't want to see those things and you get more base rewards like currency and stuff will also benefit a lot from these changes. Like a lot.
Did we hear or see anything about blight, or was it just a general umbrella
there is
statement?
I assume nothing's going to happen until if and when it comes to PoE 2. I'm pretty sure that mechanic right now in PoE 1 is super backburnered.
Well, what I mean, like, is you're talking about abyss chests in blight. You don't think that they changed that when they like? Because
they're just gone. They just won't show up anymore.
Oh, okay. So they did, and that's what I was asking. It was more of a like, they gave an umbrella statement. I don't remember if they actually spoke specifically to like any particular mechanic. It was more of an umbrella statement saying like the mechanic that you're doing isn't going to drop stuff from other mechanics.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah. And I think that is all around a solid W, because it gives more reasons and more trade value for each of the mechanics. So it doesn't matter what mechanic you do. While, yeah, you can't get value outside of that mechanic specific drops, you now can trade that mechanic specific drops for, we'll say, the mechanic that you don't want to run.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm all for. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. And I'm kind of excited to see exactly how this new league mechanic functions and works out. And as the majority of us PoE players, how broken can we make it? Because you know that somebody's going to juice it to the ceiling while you got, I'm not going to make specific named remarks, but you got player 2 over here saying The new league mechanic is shit. It doesn't drop anything.
I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised because, like, Abyss in PoE 2 was nuts. Like, why wouldn't it be nuts in PoE 1? I don't know, dude. I'm just I think it's gonna be fine.
Oh yeah.
I really can't see it being bad. I think overall it's gonna be interesting. So
Most definitely gonna be interesting. I'm actually, as much as I'm against the whole temporary mercenaries, I'm actually kind of excited to see what some of these crazy in a good way, when some of these crazy Path of Exile 1 players come up with when it comes to a new Luminary Scion build. Like, I'm sure they're going to cook up some craziness, because just as it was before it went core, when it was during the league, you had mercenaries that literally just supported you. You had mercenaries that literally did all your damage for you while you supported them. And then you had some of the combinations where they kind of supported and helped with doing some damage, or maybe just like kind of bumped your boss damage up or bumped your clear damage up, or was more of a supportive damage roll. And there was just so many avenues of being able to do these mercenaries. I'm actually excited to kind of see what these Luminary Scions cook up.
fully agree. We're in for a ride. We're definitely in for a wild ride.
That we are. Have we heard anything about resets or what time frame for PoE 2 yet?
Yeah, nothing.
I didn't think so, but maybe you heard something that I hadn't. I try to keep up to date, but the
only news has all been PoE 1 news. I mean, even while we're recording this, they've released like new changes to how damage over time skills work.
Right. Yeah, I saw that.
It's too much. I tried to read it now to see if I could bring it up. It's just too much, man. It's a lot.
Yeah, and it's great. That is probably one of the best work ethics that I've seen when it comes to a game and game development and content pushing. GGG will literally work up until the final bell rings. And
they've told us that, yeah.
And they have proven it time and time again, both in PoE 1 and PoE 2. And I think that's why PoE 2 is being held at such a high level, is because we know they're cooking. While we might not agree with some of the changes or implementations that they do each update, they work up until the final bell, and it so far has been so great, and they've already proven a million times over that they listen to the community. So
I want to say it was Affliction League, so there's a league. I want to get this right. Hinakora's Lock PoE. When did it release? Hinakora's Locks came out in Trials of the Ancestors.
Wow.
So, what league was after Trial of the Ancestors? Trial of the Ancestors. I'm actively live Googling. So, okay, it was Affliction. My initial statement was right. So, the whole statement until working up to the last minute, right? So, we have Trial of the Ancestors where we play Toda. We have this beautiful mechanic. There's this insane crafting material called Hinakora's Lock. They tell us that Toda's not going core. Toda's gone. Like, don't expect it. It's gone. All these uniques and everything go with it. This, and this are going core, like in the core drop pool, and it's like random shit.
Right.
So Affliction launches, and hours into somebody getting into maps in Affliction, they drop a Hinakora's Lock, and it was the most mind-blowing thing because Hinakora's Locks weren't supposed to come back, and they made a statement. I forget which Q&A it was in, but they were like, "Yeah, the morning of." Somebody was like, why don't we just release Hinakora's Locks again? And like they were like hours from like League launch, and they just coded Hinakora's locks back in because why not?
Yep. Hey, you miss every shot you don't take, right? So if that one dev decided not to say something, we wouldn't have Hinakora's locks.
Yep.
It's crazy to think sometimes, but here we are in a beautiful world of so many action RPGs that are all just doing a dang good job. I mean, I will say, like, there's more ARPGs than I have time for, and I honestly can't think of a time that I've been able to say that before recently, within the last...
You better mark your calendar, by the way, because August 21st is Hero Siege Season 10.
I heard that. I did. I was about to ask you. I was like, I know you're keeping track of it. I was going to ask you, what was the date? So August 21st.
Yep.
So 1 month from the day of recording.
Yep. So it's Act 9, new seasonal mechanic, 3 new Uber bosses, 600 passive tree points, 100 plus Atlas tree points, quality of life fixes, and bug changes. Whew. I know closed beta testing for that starts like tomorrow or the day after. And what's really crazy is usually closed beta testing for Hero Siege is like streamers can stream it and talk about it. This season, closed beta testing is under like strict NDA. So there's something wild coming.
So you're not under NDA.
I have not received anything yet. I can openly say that I am currently not under NDA. Come in the future, I don't know if I can make that same statement or not. I'll probably still say I'm not, even though I am. But and then they'll ask me questions. I'll just be like, yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know, dude. I'm not keeping up with it.
No, I hear it. But either way, that's crazy to think that they, this is 10 seasons in, and they're this season deciding to do a whole hush hush and so they must be cooking something big. That's all I can think.
Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be something.
Yeah. So I haven't been playing Torchlight.
Yeah.
But we have a new season.
Yep, that's going on right now.
It's the Afterlight. Season 13, I think.
Brother, I have no idea.
Either way, you're enjoying the season. What did you start, and how is your seasonal progression going so far?
I like the season a lot. There's a lot of people that don't like the season. It's like a big controversial topic. Some people, funny enough, have called it the Calandra of TLI, and I tell them that they're dumb because I think it's fun. Right. I am currently playing Rayhan, which is like kind of like a barbarian. Think about like a barbarian or a warrior.
Okay.
And I'm playing Flame Slash, which in Path of Exile terms would be Lightning Strike with Nimbus.
But fire instead of lightning.
Yeah, but fire.
Okay.
Yeah, but fire.
Cool.
So my character hits the ground very rapidly. Fissures open up, multiple fissures open up depending on the size of the AoE that I have. They go, they target, they hit everything, and then the fissures of lava return, dealing damage on the way back.
Okay. That reminds me of a PoE 2 build that I ran.
Yeah.
Similar. Not the same, but similar. But as you've said before, Torchlight Infinite nearly mirrors almost every Path of Exile mechanic that we have, right?
In some fashion, yes.
Right. I mean, obviously it can't be duplicated, right? Otherwise there'd be issues, but the general idea behind a mechanic is not copyrighted per se. So
yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty cool. I think that's really cool that they're doing good, and I will probably play Torchlight Infinite again in the future at some point. But I am definitely going to be trying to start Hero Siege Season 10, which is a month from today.
I say this as a non-sponsored comment before somebody says some crazy shit. I think Torchlight did a lot of what PoE is doing right now, where they're cutting back on a lot of the farming strategies and making it so this isn't that. You have to progress to this difficulty to get this. And it makes the farming very interesting and more difficult and challenging, and it slows down progression a lot. And personally, I really enjoy it. It gives me more of a reason to push and strive, and you feel the identity of your character coming together a lot more.
Right.
Because I don't just have everything in 72 hours and I'm not just done. But a lot of people dislike it. But I kind of really enjoy what Torchlight's doing right now. Granted, I'm behind where I would normally be, but that's a combination of the new league plus other stuff. Like, I've quadrupled my damage in the last 48 hours from playing a couple hours every day. Like, I'm starting to get into the swing of things. My character's starting to feel good, and it's pretty much getting close to back to what it was last league. I think a lot of people just didn't give it an open mind or open view.
Yeah, I think that's a big issue when it comes to any action RPG, though. When they launch an update, may it not be in the perfect world launch, but generally, for example, a big example here would be PoE 2 Temple. When PoE 2 Temple launched, everybody was like, the Temple sucks. It's not that good. It's not that great. Yep. Some people were farming it and be like, okay, it's decent. It's getting me by. And then you have these, I don't even know what to call them, but these brilliant people that are doing this crazy strat that are literally getting them, I want to say some people were farming multiple mirrors a day, if not way more than that. It might have been way higher than that, up to a mirror more an hour. I don't remember. I just know it was.
Oh, that's a little crazy. That's a little crazy.
It was
a little crazy.
I know it was crazy, but that's what I'm saying though. It was a crazy amount of currency that was just like, well, what the heck are all these other guys doing that you're not?
I say it like this. I say the economy is very telling, right? So Torchlight's got a really good example. There's a season mechanic. Like, the season mechanic right now has a scarab or a compass. It's called a compass in Torchlight.
Right.
And it started very cheap. Everybody's like, oh my God, it's not good. It's bad. And the cost of the compass was going down. Right?
Right.
Now, you can visually watch the cost of the compass start to rise.
Mm-hmm.
And why is it going up? The question nobody's asking, why is it going up? Who figured what out? What is out there? But instead, everybody's like, oh my God, it's bad. Oh my God, this. Oh my God, it sucks. Oh my God, how do you like this? But that's fine. But why is this one thing getting more expensive? Why can I now make profit when this drops? Why? And I think a lot of people miss things like that in the economy, and they don't notice. And it's really telling when something spikes out of control, or doesn't even spike out of control, but starts having an uptick. Why is it upticking? What happened?
Yeah, exactly. I experienced this in the most recent PoE 2 update. I don't remember. For the life of me, cannot remember which tablet it was. I had a bunch of tablets, and I was like, okay, these are cheap, these are cheap, these are cheap, these are cheap. Okay, I'll just keep these. And I want to say it was less than 24 hours later, I went back and I got some more tablets, and I did some price checking, and I price checked, this tablet that was a 4-mod rare tablet, and it was very similar to 10 other tablets I had, and it was 1 divine. I'm like, what? Why is this 1 divine all of a sudden? And then I price checked all the ones in my inventory, and it was 2 divine, 3 divine, 4 divine, and I was just like, what? Okay. Let me do some more research and figure out why these went from 1 chaos orb or 20 exalts to 1 plus divine, and then boom, it's okay, now I understand why, because you use these tablets and boom, you're making buku money. And like you said, all it takes is just paying attention to some of these market trends, and And instead of just saying, why, figure out, go out and be proactive and figure out why is this going up? Because obviously it's worth something if the price is going up in the economy.
Fully agree.
Yep, and I think a lot of people fail to realize that aspect when it comes to farming or making currency, or are you doing good versus are you behind, are you ahead? And it's just you just got to play the game, and you got to pay attention to these small keys that will tell you, like those tablets. Now I know that that set of tablet were lucrative, so did I sell them? No. Should I have? Maybe. I ran them. I used them. I used the strat that they were talking about. And like you said, it was funny because I was actually watching when I was at work this time. You had I had made a comment about how much is your build worth at some point, right? And you did the math and you were like, yeah, somewhere around, I think it was like 2.5K divine. And I was like, oh, cool, I'm almost there. I'm sitting at about, 2,000 divine. And I just saw your facial reaction, and it was just, it was so genuine to me, because you were like, wait, that's not the spooker currency I know. And I was like, well, I've taken some advice, and then, I was selling all my junk instead of hanging on to a lot of it. So it was like one div here, one div there, and then good. Two, I paid attention to the market and figured out why these tablets were lucrative, and I ran them. I think some of them were Abyss, and then I think the others were big purple Breach. Couldn't think of the name for that. So it was just a matter of running them and using the strats and stacking the correct tablets, and utilizing that knowledge that's out there that people just refuse to do. But
it's true.
All in all, you pay attention to some things and you'll learn, and you won't be behind, as some people would call it. But I'm glad you're liking the Torchlight League. It's fun to watch, but as I said, I just have so much that I got going on. It's like at work today. The only thing I could think of is what I was doing. Actively, when I shouldn't be at work, I should be working my work, but I was doing stuff outside my work. Like on my phone and Discord, setting up certain parameters and stuff for things that I'm doing behind the scenes. So it's been fun. I enjoy it. I've never once, and I can say this truly, I've never once been doing something that wasn't gaming related. And well, I mean, it is gaming related, but been doing something where all I can think about is at work, and all it really is more work. It's like,
that's not a bad thing.
No, it just means that I am enjoying what I'm doing, and I think it's cool that it's not just playing a video game, and it's kind of mind-boggling to me. But it's cool. We already went over Hero Siege. Launches next month, season 10. I think we've talked a lot about Diablo 4, but I did kind of want to go back and touch just a little bit on it. This is probably going to be a little bit of a shorter episode, because we've pretty much covered the majority of all the new stuff that's going on. But I did want to note that as much of D4 is not much different, we kind of covered this in the last episode, where D4 is a new season, but it's a recycled mechanic, and the new mythics was kind of like, But I will say, I have to give props to Blizzard where they're deserved. Well, I'll probably get a bunch of lashback for saying this. I think they're doing a good job at listening to the community for once. One of the biggest issues with the mythic items, for those of you that don't know, a mythic item is basically now in this league, the new mythic unique is just a normal unique that is rolled with the maximum values of the affixes that are on it. So instead of it being a range from number to number, it's always going to be at that maximum value. And when the season launched, you were able to wear one mythic unique that was crafted. And they got a lot of lashback for that. Because number one, the drop rates for mythics were incredibly low. Almost, to some players, it was just non-existent, which was a complete flip over, a complete 180 to the prior league, or the prior season, where everybody had sparks and mythics flying out their wazoo because they found so many. Which I understand mythics are supposed to be, the top-notch gear, maybe like a tier 0 unique, for example, from PoE. I still think that they should be accessible, especially being Diablo 4 is a more casual friendly game. With that being said, they were doing an update to change the drop rates and stuff, and they kind of hit us with a surprise of, oh wow, all of a sudden now you can wear more than one crafted mythic unique.
That's cool.
So I like that. And normally we wouldn't see something like that from Blizzard when it comes to their updates. They typically stick pretty true to their major changes like that. But it gives me hope that Diablo 4 is going towards more of a community-focused game. And while I don't expect them to change it too far from their casual weekend gaming player to like a min-max 1%er, but it gives me hope that they are actually listening to the majority of the community. So if there is something that you want changed, as I've said this with many games, same as you, Trav. Yep. If you want something to change, number one, go post on the forums, go leave feedback, let them know. Trust me, they read more than you know. Whether they listen to it or not, that's a different story, but they do read it, they do see it, they do notice it. They really do. And number two, if you're not enjoying the game, log out. That's going to be their biggest tell that they need to change stuff. And I think that's what happened before the last expansion for Diablo 4. And that's why the Diablo 4 most latest expansion was such a huge hit with massive, great changes that even you came back and enjoyed. So,
yep.
I'm still playing it. I'm enjoying it. I am just about done with it because I've gotten my character through. I've leveled it up. And multitasking a bunch of games. I've finally gotten to the point where I basically can complete everything in the game with my Lightning Storm Shred Druid. So there's that. Did you say, by chance, what you were league starting for PoE 1? Or is that still on the edge?
I plan to play Slayer something.
Slayer Slams?
I have no idea. It could be Slams. It could be Ellie Hit. It could be... somebody said Static Strike was really good. I have no idea. I'm clicking... I can without a doubt say that I'm clicking Duelist.
Okay.
Like... without a doubt.
Hey, I mean, if you know, you know, right? Well, I will be looking forward to seeing what you end up league starting and what you cook up, and not just your league starter, but your reroll, because those are always the most exciting. I already know what I'm doing there.
Yeah.
See, he knows his reroll before he even knows his league start.
Yep, I fully plan to play Slayer simply due to the fact that there's so many good ARPGs right now that I want to be able to do AFK Ultimatum while like playing my Torchlight stuff.
Nice.
So I can do Ultimatum. I can stand AFK, farm infinite currency for the second reroll being whatever the cool whatever's out there that looks really cool. I'm rerolling into that, and then yeah.
That's actually one of the things that that brought me into the stream the first time. I don't remember if it was an actual stream or if it was a video that I saw because that was recommended because of another video. I don't remember which, but it was, I don't remember what it was, but it was some crazy shenanigans build that you had like disclaimers all over your screen saying this is bait, don't do this, don't copy me. If you copy me, you're copying at your own risk. I'm not fixing your build. I can't help you. This is mine. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I remember seeing those all over the screen, and I thought that it was really cool because you were putting together something unique that not many other players were doing, and you were trying it before you even knew whether or not it would work.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the things that I do.
I've done a lot of builds like that, so it's really hard to pinpoint which one.
Oh no, yeah, dude, I couldn't tell you. This was going on over 2 years ago, I think. Now, yeah.
There's a world where it was like the dagger from Heist that was shooting blades all over. It could have been some PoE 2 build. There were so many possibilities of what it could be.
Well, it wasn't a PoE 2 build, I'll tell you that much, because this was before PoE 2 was out. So either way, I enjoy what you cook up. I like the different builds that, because you play more to have fun in the build that you're playing, which is always what I tell myself, and I try to tell others too, is that I get so many people that come in and they ask like, what's good? And I just want to look at them and just tell them, like, what's good is what you have fun playing. Whether it does 1 damage or 10,000 damage, it shouldn't matter. If you're having fun, that's the build for you.
Yep, fully agree.
So, I don't know what I'm league starting. I know I'm not going to league start melee, but that's all I know. I was actually considering doing like either a poison concoction or what's the other one? Explosive concoction. I think both
are good. Yeah, both are good.
I like the idea, and this is probably just because it's easy and lazy. Well, I don't want to say lazy. Probably more so just easy. Because you don't have to upgrade your weapon every so many levels.
No, it's fantastic.
So how and where and what class and ascendancy I'm going to use for it, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be starting a concoction build.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I think a really funny story. You could play poison concoction on Slayer. Just saying.
Well, I mean, that is true.
AFK Ultimatum.
I think that's probably the biggest love for Path of Exile that got me hooked. When I actually came back to stay and enjoy, because I played Path of Exile 1 when it first came out. I played it for I don't remember how long, but I played it for a while, and then I was like, okay, maybe this isn't for me. I'm not really that great. Then I came back, I tried it again, same thing. And then the third time I came back, it was actually due to a multitude of things, but I had content creators like you that were dumbing it down and breaking it into bite-sized chunks to where I could not necessarily learn everything, but learn enough to where I could actually get to farming the later stages of the game, which then I got hooked. And what hooked me the most was learning that you can literally do anything when it comes to like any skill on any class in Ascendancy. It's just a matter of how you have to make it work with what gear and what items that you put together to make that skill gem work for that class or that Ascendancy.
Yep.
So, and I think that's probably one of the most valuable assets that Path of Exile has for me, of course. But I'm excited to try out the new league mechanic it's Friday, right?
Yep, this Friday.
Do you know what time? No. I knew. I can never remember if it's evening or early when it comes to, because I'm pretty sure they start on Saturday, right? There's a Saturday morning when they start the league.
3 o'clock. I think it's 3 o'clock Eastern. It's in 2 days and 20 hours and 44 minutes right now. So 4 hours behind 7 o'clock. So yeah, it starts at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Okay. So I'm looking forward to trying out the new league mechanic. I hope you guys are too. And if you guys got any crazy shenanigans that you're starting out, leave them in the comments below. Let us know what you're going to start. And I think that wraps it up for this episode.
Nice.
So
that was good.
Absolutely awesome time. It's a pleasure. Every episode we do is completely unscripted, as you can see from the earlier Googling mid podcast. But hey, that's what makes these kind of conversations so organic and genuine. So I enjoy it. So thank you. And that's it. That's another episode of Loot Farming and Gossip. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Static buzz in the midnight air. Travagant spooker in the gamer's lair. Loot drops falling like a neon rain. Pixel worlds driving us insane. Halo rings light up the fight. Sonic speed blurs through the night. Diablo's demons in the dungeon's breath. Path of Exile's paths leading to death. Live farming gossip in the glow. Digital whispers in the flow. EverQuest dreams keep us alive. Dead by daylight screams collide. Talk of bosses grinding bones. Legends born in gaming zones. Quests that stretch beyond the frame. In this podcast we name the game. Controllers on the heartbeat song. Spookers laugh keeps the vibe strong. Traffic's words cut through the noise. Gaming tales from girls and boys. Loot farming gossip in the glow. Digital whispers in the flow. EverQuest dreams keep us alive. Dead by daylight screams collide. Controllers hum the heartbeat song. Spookers laugh keeps the vibe strong. Travick's words cut through the noise. Gaming tales from girls and boys. The farming gossip